Let's come back to EMFs. They've come up a couple times. You mentioned this one device, you're not sure if it really does anything. What is that? And then any other modalities or things you're doing to keep them at bay?
I mean, the problem with EMF, so, the sun is a frequency emitter, and so is the moon, and so is the earth. And without getting too much into the weeds on that, we're meant to be exposed to a wide variety of low intensity electromagnetic frequencies. And what an EMF is by definition high intensity single frequency or few frequencies, because that's how it works, right? You can't run your cell phone on the sun or the moon. You have to have certain frequencies, higher intensity, that are picked up by the cell phone in ways that I don't really understand, but that's how I'm told it works. So that's not something humans are used to. And therefore, it changes your electromagnetic field, and that's everything. That's how we structure the water. We are electromagnetic fields. We are electrical generating devices. And if anybody disagrees with that, I would love to hear how come you can measure an EKG or an EEG or an EMG. You're measuring the electrical activity of your heart and brain and muscles. And so even though doctors will tell you you're not generating electricity, they use those tools to assess the health of the organs. So I'm suspicious of the negative effects of all man-made electromagnetic fields. So for instance, I don't have any mobile devices. I don't have a cell phone or a tablet. I use this one wired computer. It's wired through an Ethernet cable, and that's all I ever use. And we don't have Wi-Fi in our house. We just have these two Ethernet cables. And, we checked out the house with a biogeometry person and a building biologist to make sure it was in a safe zone as we could. And then we have multiple devices around the house. And again, most of them have been given to me. I don't even remember where they came from. I've done podcasts with many of them. They're like boxes or, like orgone generating things like this. And I have things like this, and I have things like Likovsky things all over the place. And I have this that I carry around in my pocket. And I have no idea what happens with any of these things really, except I seem to be okay. And, I understand the theory of transmuting the waves into something less harmful. That's what they say. And whether they do that or not, I don't really know. But some of them have some interesting research that suggests it's doing something helpful. I may be canceling them all out by having so many of them, and I don't really know what to tell somebody to do. I would check out the different devices and use whatever instincts and science you can bring to bear on it.
Okay, so no Wi-Fi in the house. That's impressive. Any neighbors that have Wi-Fi that you're picking up?
Probably yes, which is why we have the devices to mitigate that.
I know they have these Faraday cages. I don't have one yet, but how do you think about that over top of the bed?
Yeah, I wouldn't do that because I want to be part of the Earth's field. So I wouldn't sleep in a Faraday cage.
What about bringing grounding mats into the house? So when you're,
You
say,
know,
in an
to
interview like
me,
this,
if
you're
you
grounded.
put your feet on a grounding mat, you're encouraging those field to go through your body out into the grounding mat. So, but I do spend probably somewhere between half an hour to an hour a day barefoot in the grass, and mostly in the garden. I do most of my garden work barefoot, and when I'm not barefoot, it's with barefoot shoes, some of which are grounded. Or I'll have leather moccasins, which are grounded. And I have a walking stick that's grounded. So it's got a copper thing and a coil. So I carry that around sometimes.
If you enjoyed that clip, you're going to want to head over here and catch the full episode. I'll see you over there.
Nobody has liver attacks, kidney attacks. They have heart attacks and brain attacks called strokes. No other organ has attacks, even though the blood is the same and the arteries are the same, which led me to think it's got to do